Wi-Fi is something you don't really think about until you don't have to, or you don't have it and it's not working properly. Videos buffering, you've got Wi-Fi dead zones. Everyone is home for the holidays. Guess what? They're fighting for your Wi-Fi. So when did you last upgrade your Wi-Fi at home? If you just want better Wi-Fi everywhere, check out Orbi's Wi-Fi system from Netgear. With Orbi, you'll enjoy super strong, fast, and more reliable home Wi-Fi from your basement to your backyard. From the basement to the yard.
Ho!
Change your Wi-Fi world. Get Orbi, that's O-R-B-I, Wi-Fi system from Netgear. Visit netgear.com/Orbi, that's O-R-B-I. Yo, Beach, let's get to the show.
Hello, everybody on the planet Earth. My name is Stephen Beach. I'm producer for the Byte Extra Crunchy podcast with your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is episode 113, Byte Extra Crunchy, keeping it munchy. We've got all you munchies in the chat rooms going off right now. We also want to let you know, just if you want to be a part of this amazing show, because you're the ones that make it pop, call us whenever you want, any time of the day. Something pops up in your mind. You're like, you know when you do your best thinking in the shower? I'm not saying think about us in the shower, but you might be. I know some of y'all are like that. But just call us 1-800-616-2638. Tell us your name, where you're from. We got some great calls this week. Just really good, thoughtful calls, and we love that because it just adds to the texture of the show. So, yeah, let's just jump into it. And I think obviously the biggest news this week, and we will have new news. This is our complimentary piece to the Byte Video podcast. The big news this week, without a doubt to me, Apple TV finally gets the Amazon Prime Video app. You can go to your Apple TV right now, check it out, install it, see what it's all about. Look, some of the comments I read made me laugh. People are like, who cares about shows on Amazon Prime?
What? What are you talking about?
No, I'm serious. There's people out there that like, look, this is those same type of people are the people that are like, Google sucks, Samsung sucks. They're like on one platform. They don't think that there's anything else better out there. And I'm like, there's amazing shows. There's so many like legit free movies. Like, I'm stupid. I just paid to watch or to rent Arrival maybe like 2 weeks ago. And then I turn on, thanks Amazon Prime for getting the app out late. I turn on Amazon Prime Videos app, and guess what's one of the free videos because I'm a Prime member? Arrival.
Oh, bro, I watched that weeks ago. Yeah, it's great.
Come on, man. For real? Seriously?
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. Like, they have awesome documentaries too. There's a lot of great stuff on Amazon. Kids TV shows, a lot of them. So I use it all the time.
My boy Gil Cabrera loves Grand Tour season 2 coming out from the guys, the Top Gear family. I mean, that's worth watching if you're into that. I think Amazon Prime was the first to roll out The Wire, one of the greatest TV shows of all time in HD. On their service as well. So just kind of cool stuff like that. Anyways, check it out. I want to know if you guys like it or not, but there's plenty. Free content is free content. I don't know what anyone's complaining about.
Yeah.
What's the problem here? Also, updates to TVOS flew in here. We have TVOS 11.2. What does that help do? The cool thing is that the Apple TV now does, right, with this TVOS, I'm jumping around a second. The Amazon Prime Video app supports 4K and HDR content, which is cool. And also it is plugged into Apple's kind of up next feature in the TV app. And if those of you are like, what is the TV app? Apple has this kind of like the Watch app that queues up apps that are connected, like anything you watch on iTunes, movies or TV shows, things from like the CW app. And certain apps that are plugged in. The Amazon Prime Video app is plugged in. It'll show you where you left off on your most recent shows and videos and movies, and then you can jump into it. It's weird that they call it the TV app because you watch movies and TVs on the TV app. I always found it just be a confusing name. They shouldn't even call it that. Call it something different.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of confusing, yeah.
Also, no longer confusing, the actual Apple TV app is now available for users in the UK, France, and Germany. That wasn't the case. Initially, it rolled out in the US, and then I believe Australia was getting it early as well. But this comes down to like rights in different companies and distribution for content. UK, France, and Germany, almost a year after Apple announced the service, it's now available for you guys on your Apple TV.
It's
I
surprising
know
it took so long.
they aren't happy about that. I know they aren't happy about that. They're already throwing plenty of bad apples already. The other thing that I did jump ahead to accidentally is with tvOS 11.2. We saw a lot of software updates this week. We will get to more of that. But tvOS 11.2 brings a couple new features to the Apple TV as well. There's this new HDR feature and frame rate feature. Basically, in the video settings, you can select to match the original content. And what was happening in the first run of Apple TVs about 2 months ago when they first launched it, content that was not in HDR, that was like maybe even something like watching Batman The Dark Knight through an app, because it wasn't in HDR, it was trying to kind of artificially create this high dynamic range, and the images were really blown out. It looked really crappy. So now you can actually choose for it to match the content, which is a good thing. You want to switch that on. And then the other feature you have is to match the frame rate. And that's also important because then content that is shown will show in its native frame rate. That makes a difference when you're watching, TV shows to movies and other types of content, whether it's on YouTube or whatnot. So that's good to know. Although YouTube still doesn't show 4K content on the Apple TV. They need to fix that ASAP. Yeah. Still cannot watch 4K content on YouTube. What are they doing?
Aren't they in like a little battle right now? YouTube and was it YouTube and who
YouTube
was
and Amazon?
It was Amazon and YouTube. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, YouTube and Amazon are pooping on each other. I mean, right now, YouTube is not allowing Fire TV products to get access to the YouTube app anymore. It basically doesn't work because Amazon is being a D-bag and they're not selling Google Home, and I believe they're not selling the Nest as well, but definitely they're not selling Google Home products which stream video. So they're just like basically pissed off at each other because they're both dumb. They should just make it happen. But they did a similar thing with Apple when they were promoting their Fire TVs. Amazon took off Apple TVs and Chromecasts from Amazon and prevented them from being sold, and then basically trying to force people to be like, oh, the Fire TV platform is the only one that's out there. Yeah, we're smarter than that. So people complain, and then Apple TV and Chromecast ended up, actually no, just at least Apple TV is back on the Amazon storefront. So
yeah, I'm still waiting for Amazon to get Chromecast support, and I feel like that's never going to happen. So I guess I have to get a Fire TV, but whatever.
Don't you have a Fire already?
I have like I don't have Fire TV, but I have a Kindle and Amazon Prime and all that stuff.
You're all plugged. You're in the Amazon ecosystem,
bro. I'm in all of them, man. iTunes or Apple, Google, Amazon. I'm in all of them, like a little bit in each of them.
What about Netflix? Huh? You still not on Netflix,
Hell
bro?
No. But I'm accepting Netflix gifts for Christmas. I am accepting that.
Hey, check this out. This is the first time I've ever heard this comment in the Periscope chat room. Al Rosado 5 says there's a skunk on my head. First time I've ever heard that. First time. All right, let's get into iPhone news. This one's kind of cool. Not a surprise because this has happened multiple years. Flickr posted their top devices of 2017 based on what devices are posting. Obviously, they're great photos. It's kind of Flickr's year in review. The top device types in 2017, number one, taking 50% of that chunk is smartphones. Number two at 33%, DSLR cameras. Number three at 12%, point and shoot cameras.
Wow.
Probably my mom. And then number four at 4%, mirrorless cameras, which are on the rise without a doubt. You've got like the Sony A7 line and up. Mirrorless cameras are on the rise and are amazing, but they haven't become like buzzworthy to the general consumer yet. If you want to talk about the top brands in 2017 using Flickr, 54% of users posting photos were Apple, 23% were Canon, and 18% were Nikon. So this really just...
There's no Android in there or Google or anything, huh?
Yeah, it didn't make that top list. And I think the perception has been... Also, if you think about it, it's not that it could be Android. It would be like Samsung, Google, LG, right? They didn't clump them together because that's not how they're identifying them in this survey. But, there's been this idea for years, and it was true, that the iPhone had the best camera. But I think now you could argue in a lot of different ways. Depending on what you're looking for in a camera, the LG V30 arguably has the most control you'll find in a camera. The Google Pixel 2 camera has the best overall sensor. I even like how the Pixel handles portrait mode uh, better than the iPhone in many cases, but it comes down. It just depends. But look, these are all great cameras. It kind of just comes down to what you're looking for. I mean, you guys in the chat might have a different idea, but at least according to Flickr, the Apple platform is the number one used top percentage of photographers at 54%. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Kind of interesting. In other iPhone news that I wish came earlier, SIM-free iPhones, unlocked SIM-free iPhone 10s are now available from the Apple online store in the US. This was a big deal. Everyone was looking for unlocked phones. Guess what? They ended up just aligning with the carrier that they wanted. And so that's how the carriers were able to kind of benefit from that. Because if you get an unlocked phone, you're buying it directly from Apple. It's not dealing with any carriers. And people were frustrated about that. There were kind of ways to go around that. If you were technically a Verizon and Sprint phones, really more with Verizon, you could essentially buy it, sign up for like a 3 gig data plan if you didn't already, and then cancel that plan, and then you could use that phone with other carriers. I think the main advantage here, though, to let people know, is the unlocked version of the phone includes the Qualcomm modem. And we've talked about on this show about the Intel modem performance versus the Qualcomm modem performance, how it first was an issue in with the iPhone 7. And there's going to be a lot of you that say, who cares? You guys are only making a big deal about this. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's actually important to know that one, I guess, type of version of the phone actually, without a doubt, there's no doubt about it, performs better because of the modem inside. Apple has had this ongoing legal battle with Qualcomm. They complained that Qualcomm's pricing was they were price gouging them. Qualcomm says Apple was throttling down their modem performance, so it wasn't as good. And at the same time, Apple has every right to try and get their phones similar in performance with each other. But you got to check out this article from PC Mag. They did an exclusive with Cellular Insights. This is the company that broke down the performance of the Intel versus Qualcomm modems in the iPhone 7. And ultimately, the data came back, and Qualcomm's iPhone 10 modem still outpaces Intel. Now, what they're basically testing here is the speed of the LTE band 4 download speeds that you have. And in most cases, as they're reducing the signal power, and basically the signal's getting weaker, you'll see how the Qualcomm modem is always just edging the Intel modem, which is all right. But then when it comes down to really, really weak signals, and this is what I remember feeling from day one when I got the iPhone 7, places where I had 1 bar or 2 bars of signal, I was able to easily get a signal in my previous like iPhone 6s and all that. But in San Francisco specifically, once I got to those areas with the iPhone 7, there were times where I couldn't even get a signal or little to no LTE data anymore. And then reports had later come out that there were 2 different modems. The same thing is happening with the iPhone 10. And ultimately, if you want the best performing, and it's not going to be a big, big difference, but it does still make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
It does still make a difference. The Qualcomm-powered Intel modem is part number A1865. That's sold by Sprint, Verizon, and US Cellular. And the Intel-based modems, part number A1901, are from AT&T and T-Mobile. So the third model is A1902, is only sold in Japan, but those are Intel-based modems. So that's just the bottom line. I'm not trying to like make you feel bad like you have a crappy iPhone. You don't. Well, maybe you do, but you don't have a bad iPhone. It's just that there's going to be slight differences that are noticeable, specifically when you're in a lower signal area. So just something to chew on.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed my phone like I had better reception on like the iPhone 5 than I did with the iPhone 6. I felt like, I felt like I'm losing connectivity, especially like going across the Bay Bridge every day and stuff. Like there's definitely dead spots on the Bay Bridge that I would notice more now that I have this phone. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, but this is clear representation of that.
And I'm curious if people are, we talk about it on the show and people don't dispute us on that either, because I feel that the listeners and the viewers are experiencing similar things, and it's just something that you just know about. And I'm not gonna get all mad and shake my fist at Apple because I'm on AT&T. Like, that it is what it is. I'm gonna move on, but it's something that we should just point out and let people know.
Yeah.
That's all. Because this is kind of like a little more nitty gritty inside baseball stuff compared to what we do on our normal show. All right, let's go over to talk about Apple Pay Cash. Finally rolled out this week. Very cool. I've noticed a lot of people that I know haven't even activated the actual feature. Like, you have to flip the switch on to get Apple Pay Cash turned on. People kind of made fun of me because on my Twitter, I told them about my experience. I had never, I don't care if people say shame on you, I'd never turned on two-factor authentication on my phone. So I had to do that, but also I had to like type in the last 4 digits of my social security number. Then I had to scan my driver's license front and back, and then enter in my entire social security number. I was like, what? Why? And I know it's because you're technically with Apple Pay Cash creating an actual, like, you're actually kind of creating like your another credit card. But it was weird for me to be like, do I really want to do this? And I just, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird because like Venmo, you just log into your bank account.
Link your bank account.
It all like sets itself up. And like, what is it? PayPal is kind of similar. So that feels weird having to put in your social security and all that stuff.
And I get it. It's because you're getting authorized for a new card, essentially, that I'm not going to really use. And people in the chat room just said, yeah, no Apple Pay Cash in Canada. Like, stop complaining. But I had to put a lot of my info in there in order to flip the switch. And then the funniest thing about it is I have not, other than testing it once or twice for fun, I still have yet to use Apple Pay Cash, but I've already used Venmo 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
So, Venmo, people are used to it. It's more universal. The platform's there. Apple Pay Cash is only available in the US and only iOS. So it's obviously limited right now. They're hoping to expand it, but don't tell me that iOS is going to just Apple Pay Cash is going to take over all of a sudden.
I wonder if that's going to do like a check on your credit report, like when you get a new credit card, they have to check your credit report. So I'm wondering if your credit report is affected at all by that.
Well, if I get denied in a week or so and they say, oh yeah, sorry, our bad, then that'll tell you how good my credit report is.
So wait, it didn't happen right away? Like you have to get
it did happen. I got approved.
Okay.
Yeah, I got approved. Just saying if they like decide to take it back, or Apple watches this show and's like, let's look in the system. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
We're gonna revoke his credit.
Revoke my credit. Okay, check this out. Apple says they posted this on their developer website. iOS 11 is now installed on 59% of iOS devices, which is, Apple has always had great adoption rates. I'm going to also say, if people could revert back to iOS 10 on their earlier iPhones, they would, but a lot of them can't, and it can be tricky, and it's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's not always like, oh, you can't just flip the switch. You got to do a couple things to even get back to that point. But here's the thing, like this iOS 11, we've talked about it before, and I need to reinforce this. iOS 11 is the buggiest iOS we have ever seen, hands down. And it just continues to, we're going to do a little history check. And this is week after week, bug after bug. I talked about it, but here I can break down the bugs specifically. So just to put it out in a list, and you guys and gals can be like, wow, this is horrible. All right. So we had iOS 11 roll out, and iOS 11 had the I bug. That was where the letter I was auto-corrected to like an A with a space with a question mark or an exclamation mark, and it was affecting people for a long time. So they had that bug. Hey, guess what? They released a fix to iOS 11.1. But guess what? They weren't over. No, there's another one.
I messed that up a little bit. Go ahead.
There's another one. So then Apple had this whole crack Wi-Fi vulnerability that gave access to, your network and potential files. So then they had to update to 11.1.1. So 11.1.1, you'd be like, all right, we're good. And this is like week after week. Some of these were within days of each other. 11.1.1 had the it and is bug where for some people, if you typed it in, what's up, Belgium? If you typed it in, it would autocorrect it to I.T or I.S. So guess what? Do we want another patch? Of course we want another patch. 11.1.2 came out. So what happened with that one? I want to hear another one.
Another one.
Thank you. 11.1.2 was out for this cold weather fix. Remember, people's phones weren't working in the cold.
Yeah.
All right? People's phones were working in the cold. 11.1.2 fixed that. Then another bug popped up. Another bug. 11.2 was released early because there was a looping bug that would cause basically phones to loop and potentially crash once December the 2nd hit. Okay? So 11.2 was pushed out early to fix that bug. But what did that cause? Everyone's like, I got 11.2. I'm supposed to have Apple Pay Cash. Apple Pay Cash was delayed and rolled out later, which came out this week. And the reason why is because they needed to fix the December 2nd loop bug. So they pushed out 11.2 quick. But we're still not done. We're still not done. Guess what? Another one. Oh my gosh. 11.2 has this 0-day iOS HomeKit vulnerability that allows people to get remote access through iOS 11.2 to your smart accessories. So we're talking about like locks, lights. It doesn't stop. And Apple has acknowledged this, and Apple is going to address this in a future fix. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the next one, dude. That's because it's coming.
Oh, okay, good. I still am on 10, man. My wife went to 11. She's reporting all kinds of issues. And you know, the first two that you spoke about, the the letters, the I
bugs, yeah.
Those were like massive, public, visible, embarrassing bugs, right? I mean, like it's all over Twitter. I still see it. Like people who haven't updated their phones, I still see it. That's a huge one. I mean, it's so silly too. But then just this whole string of them happening all in succession. I thought my job was stressful, but whoever's working on iOS 11 at Apple probably has the most stressful job right now.
I remember
besides like someone like a police officer or someone in the military or something, you know?
I remember a couple of years ago, there were stories about there was a mass exodus of talent in relationship to security and software and specifically bug issues. And I don't know if this is directly linked to that. I have to assume it's part of that. It's part of having new employees that may not be as familiar with iOS and its nuances. Look, I can't do this, but to hear that list of bug after bug after bug and them being bugs that are so significant that you had to release an update after update after update after update. Like we had 11, 11.1, 11.1.1, 11.1.1.2, 11.2. So we're probably going to have like 11.21. I hope we don't have an 11.22 and 11.23. Like, you don't, it just sounds ridiculous.
It's funny. I'm watching the chat room and Zoya Wikasa, I'm not sure where he's from, but he put in just like the bug number. It's like 11.2.01.011.0111. That just looks funny.
That's what we're getting at now. This is where we're at now, Apple world. Come on, Apple biters. You can't stand for this. This is just it's depressing. It's not even a bad Apple. I'm just depressed about it. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is what it's coming to. All right, let's take a little breather. We're going to talk about some future iPhone stuff after this break. But we got to thank another sponsor in the house, Jamf Software. Today's show is brought to you by Jamf Now. Apple's device management can be time-consuming work, especially if IT isn't your daily job. But with Jamf Now, keeping up with your equipment is a breeze. Jamf Now helps you manage your Apple devices from really anywhere. Need to secure that iPad that your sales rep lost while visiting home for the holidays? Sure, he was visiting home. He was out kicking it at the bars. Jamf Now allows you to configure settings, protect sensitive information, even lock or wipe a device no matter where you are. Even as your business grows, you'll be able to keep track of everyone's Macs, iPhones, and iPads with ease. That way you can focus on your business with no IT expertise needed. So check this out, listeners. You can set up your first 3 devices for free. You could just do this from home. Add more for just $2 a month per device. Start securing your business today. Go to jamf.com/crunchy to create a free account and set up your 3 free devices today. That's jamf.com/crunchy. Booyah.
Booyah. Thanks, Jamf.
And I told you, our CNET IT guys use Jamf. I'm not even kidding.
Straight up.
They literally use it as a tool. And they also just happen to sponsor this dope show called the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy.
And they're regular sponsors too, which is great. They keep coming back. So thank you.
Well, you know why? Because people listen to the show. Like, I'm not even surprised. I mean, I wouldn't listen to me. I would listen to you, but not me.
No one comes to listen to me. They want to listen to you.
Dude, after we do these shows, I don't talk to anyone because it's like I don't want to hear my voice no more. I'm serious. It's like funny. You're like shut up. You're like you want to tell yourself to just shut up.
You give yourself the silent treatment.
Yeah, it's for everyone's benefit. All right, let's check this out. Just kind of some new. We're always having new future iPhone. What is coming out? What could be coming out? We heard the reports from Ming-Chi Kuo at DigiTimes a couple weeks ago how the next idea or thinking or planning from Apple is to release 3 iPhone models in 2018 that will be roughly based off of the pretty much design-wise look like the current iPhone 10. There will be 3 sizes, a 5.8-inch iPhone, which is the current one, a 6.1-inch LCD-based iPhone, and then a 6.5-inch larger OLED model that could be thought of like the iPhone 10 Plus. But we'll see what they call it. I don't know if they're going to call it the iPhone XS, iPhone 11. Who knows? We'll see. We'll find out. We'll play the guessing game later. But this new report says that, again, from Ming-Chi Kuo, that next year's new iPhone 10s, or whatever they call them, could feature up to 10% more battery if Apple and LG Chem are able to deploy this one-cell design battery. Now, we know that in the iPhone 10, there's kind of this L-shaped battery that enabled them to use more space and to bring more battery life. I still think the iPhone 10's battery runs faster than my previous iPhone 7. It just does. I think it's doing so many things that it doesn't. I don't feel on a day-to-day that I get better battery life out of my iPhone 10. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm different.
You think it's using all its energy faster, you're saying?
I feel like my battery goes down about an hour or 2 quicker than, maybe more like an hour quicker than it normally did. But maybe just because, I'm taking a lot of selfies with the portrait mode. I'm gonna blame portrait mode. But anyways, this new report, because right now the L-shaped battery in the current iPhone 10 is two batteries basically. It's 2 cells. They're saying that they could optimize this and give us more battery juice if they are able to create a singular L-shaped single cell battery. And that is what the goal is for sometime in 2018. We'll see. But again, these are power-hungry devices. They do more than they've ever done before, which is cool. But at the same time, just give me the juice is loose. I wish the number one innovation that I want to see is in battery tech. I want someone, if Apple gave us a freaking iPhone that lasted 3 days or 2 days even, let's just say legitimately 2 days straight, I think people would pee themselves.
Oh, yeah. This battery looks kind of funny, too. It looks kind of hacked together a little bit.
It does. And I want to hear another rumor?
Huh.
With the 3 iPhones released in 2018, and 2 of them are expected, like we talked about, to be OLED models, with one of them being the LCD model, which we also joked about having a lower pixel per inch. And I called it the iPhone blurry, and people were legitimately offended by that. They called me names. They didn't like,
really?
They're like, oh, PPI, it's not even that much blurrier. You guys are just full of blah, blah, blah. Oh, go back to blah, 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 lady boy. I get it all. I don't even care. I don't even care.
You got some thick skin now, man.
Oh, dude, I don't even care. I think it's funny. I mean, honestly, bring it. All I do is then I just comment on their crappy YouTube profile pics. Like, some dude was like complaining about my shirt, and then he wore this, like, his picture was him in a suit with like a clown tie. Like, it was so big. It looked so bad. I just had a comment on it. I'm like, thanks for the fashion advice. Nice clown tie. It was like.
Then he was probably like, oh my God, Brian Tong commented on my YouTube video.
It's Anyways, back to the show. Man, we're getting distracted by commenters. I need to focus.
Trolls.
So,
Someone right in the chat room just said trolls with a
I love.
Z, with a Z, and
I don't care. I think it's fun. Citing a source close to the company's product designs, Nikkei, the Asian outlet, says that the LCD model could feature a metal back, like the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus.
I was seeing that yesterday, that they're talking about going back to metal.
I'm bringing metal back. Hey, you know I don't want all that crappy glass. Hey, I just made that up. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Because as soon as they announced like the back of the iPhone's gonna be glass, everyone's like, "Well, I'm just gonna break it, man! Like, what the hell?" Now, does having a metal back help with antenna, catching signals from the antenna?
I mean, it really comes down to the wire of the antenna. I think the thing that a metal back prevents, though, is wireless charging. You kind of need a glass conductive surface to be able to be like, if it's depending on the type of metal, it won't be able to get to charge through that.
I see. Hence
the glass backings of these devices. So we will see. But that's just another rumor that's being thrown out right now.
Cool.
All right. I just wanted to do a little rest in peace. Just pour some liquor out for the Mac. The 2011 Mac Mini is now, Apple has added it to their models of its vintage and obsolete product list.
Oh wow.
The 2011 mid 2011 Mac Mini. Look, we haven't seen a Mac Mini update, I think, in almost like 3 years. And Tim Cook did respond to an email a few months ago that the Mac Mini was still an important part of our product lineup, even though we haven't done anything with it for 3 years, because they completely ignored the Mac and thought everyone just wanted a super power, supercharged $5,000 iMac Pro. That's what they're doing right now, and it clearly showed what they were thinking. And remember, they had to go back and say, okay, we're going to make a modular, customizable Mac Pro in the future. When this year, guess what came out? And this product's been worked on for at least 2-3 years, because that's how they plan ahead. Their vision of the new Pro Mac was an iMac Pro.
Sad.
Without any customizability for PCI cards, for audio, for capture, like everything you could think of for high-end pro users, more expandable slots for memory. So at least for the Mac Mini, we're gonna pour a little shout out.
Say goodbye. Bye, Mac Mini.
Goodbye, Mac Mini. You were 2011.
Do some slow fades.
You were so good. All right, you were so good.
We got it.
We gave him his due.
Proper send off.
Proper send off. All right, and the last story before we get to our awesome calls. Y'all ready for this? New emojis.
Oh.
Everyone loves emojis. There's no one that now everyone doesn't love animojis. Not yet. Not yet. But everyone loves emojis. So check this out. The Unicode Consortium published what are the proposed emojis that will be coming in 2018. These are not confirmed yet. They basically throw up a long list. I think even if you click on that link that says the announced or whatnot, I can't remember. There's a link. There's a second link in the document that I have, I believe, candidates for inclusion. It shows a long, long list of all the proposed ones, but some of them include like a softball, a cupcake. I have always wondered where cupcake is, because I don't know if like you guys like to cupcake your girl. You'd be like, oh, why are you cupcaking me? You know cupcaking, right?
I don't, man.
It's like getting all close and flirty, like, oh, I want to cupcake you. I'm gonna cupcake you.
Cute, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you cupcake your wife? And just be all up in here, and she's like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I'm cupcaking." I want to know what she says. Seriously, can you do that for me? I want to know.
She'd be like, "Get away!" No, just kidding.
Just be like, like kissing on the cheek and stuff, and be like, "Oh, what's up, baby?" And they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? Like, stop cupcaking me."
I don't see a use for the swan, the teddy bear. Maybe the teddy bear. I don't see a use for the
mango. No use for the mango.
The mango, yeah, that's cool. But the sewing, the
thread. There's thread. They are finally showing a redhead some love. They're gonna release a redhead, their proposed redhead emoji. So all of you redheads that were furious about lack of representation in the emoji world, you should expect to get that in 2018.
Gingers unite. And then I also saw that you're gonna be able to spin emojis around, so you can go backwards.
potentially you're going to be able to reverse the direction of them because it kind of changes the context of like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm not joking about it, but the gun emoji when you're like blank, shoot blank, or the train emoji, like you want it to go a certain way, or the running emoji. Like there's times where flipping the emoji is very important.
Yeah, that's
Like
innovation right there.
I want to flip the eggplant a specific way so it can be directed at a specific person.
Yeah.
Eggplant, eggplant, peach, squirt, squirt, squirt.
That's important. They're pointed in the right direction as the squirt and the peach. The sad face poop. I don't know about that one. That one looks kind of depressing to me.
Well, the only sad thing, yeah, what happened is they also have removed some of the emojis that were proposed, and they may come back at a later time, but the frowning poop emoji will not be part of 2018, guaranteed.
It should be part of 2017.
I don't even know why you need to put a frown on a poop emoji. Like, really?
Yeah.
Isn't a poop emoji already crappy enough?
It is. It's pretty crappy.
Like, is that like super crappy if you do like a frown poo-poo face?
The poo-poo emoji is like it's a cultural phenomenon because I know my kids are they love it. They have like little plushy poop emoji toys and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
really
important.
important.
It's a big thing.
There's also, I don't know if you have that initial emoji article out right now, but I guess if at the very bottom of it, there's a part that talks about iOS 11.2 emoji changelog. Basically, what they did is if you click on that, they changed the tumbler glass that has like some whiskey in it, or scotch. Is it actually scotch or whiskey?
Oh, I can't find it. What was it called again?
Let me send you this right now so people that are watching can see it right now.
Send it over.
So
chat it? Okay, got it.
Yeah, I got it for you. So basically this posting is showing that they changed the tumbler glass. The ant has been given like a more cartoony look in iOS 11.2. These are tweaks that they've done. It has like a bigger booty and like a bigger head. It just looks like more cartoony. And then the camera that they're using in iOS 11.2 is less like a Canon point and shoot and more like a Leica camera. It actually even looks more like an old-fashioned camera point and shoot from back in the day. So
yeah.
The globe has been tweaked a little. There's just like little adjustments. The fork and knife have been given a more metallic look. Like these are really important things that Apple's working on instead of all the bugs that have afflicted iOS freaking 11.
Yeah, this is very important stuff here. I do like the sheen on the silverware. It's like a sheen now, kind of.
Congrats to that sheen. Your phone doesn't work in the cold.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we should just hit up our voicemails. Let's see what the people got to say.
Let's do it. Thank you guys for calling. We had a few good voicemails this week. Let
me remind
put
you
the phone
all,
number up. Yeah.
Yeah. 1-800-616-2638. I think with the holiday season, people are like trailing off, but also we do get the most calls when huge product launches happen. But I think there's a lot of stuff that's happening before the end of the year. The iMac Pro is expected to come out by the end of the year. So let us know what you think about just Apple in general right now. Are you feeling good about it going into 2018 or not? I'm really curious about that.
Yeah. They're also supposed to get a big tax break, man, if that bill passes. Okay,
I don't want that. Oh, and then it affects the rest of the freaking world. Oh, I'm so sad about that.
Yeah,
no,
so they'll get like $50 million tax break or something.
No, to all the Richies? No.
Yeah.
No, give it to the people. The people deserve it, not the Richies.
The people. All right, here we go. Number one. Call number one.
Hey, Brian. This is Andrew from Newtown, Pennsylvania. And I just had a quick question. Or when is the Nest going to come to HomeKit, you know? Like, if or when, or do you have any ideas as to when it would come? You know, it's just really annoying me because I love the Nest. I know it's Google and everything, but, like, there's no reason as to why it shouldn't be there considering Apple has nothing, like, they don't have a thermostat or anything of that sort. And my other thing is, how is the Amazon Prime Video
cut this
app?
Because Amazon Prime already came.
Yeah, well, he had, everyone's been asking, honestly, the number one question I've been asked lately is when Amazon Prime Video app is coming out, so it came out. In response to the Nest, obviously the Apple app works with, or Apple's iOS system has an app, but I've got to assume he's talking about voice controlling it and being able to talk to it. Look, it's a Google product, and I don't expect them to make it play nice anytime soon, but we'll see. I mean, They did before. It does work. I use it through the app, but I don't. I use Alexa. I'm on Amazon, man. I'm on the Echo platform. It is by far the best for any smart home devices. So we'll see if they make it a little more friendly. I don't know. I don't expect it to though.
Yeah.
Apple, Google, they
Yeah.
they don't like each other.
They don't like each other. Okay, next call.
This is David calling from Jersey. Love the show. Thanks a lot. I can get the iPhone 10 if I want. I get the 256 gig, the one that's over $1,200. But then I was thinking, you know what? I could really use a new laptop instead. Why don't I get a new laptop instead of the iPhone 10? My iPhone 7 Plus works just fine. So if you had the choice of getting any Apple laptop right now, which one would you get within the same type of price that a fully loaded iPhone 10 would cost? I went on the Apple website and I was looking at the different models, and there was nothing there that really got me too excited. So should I maybe go outside the Apple ecosystem and look at something else? I use the laptop for a lot of different stuff. I'm kind of a power user, editing, a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of research, a little bit of everything. So it would have to be something pretty powerful. And I noticed that you don't even get 16 gigs RAM standard in any of the MacBook Pros. So, should I be looking elsewhere? What would you recommend? Let me know. Thanks a lot. Love the show. Appreciate it. Bye.
Cool.
So my man, thanks for calling in. I love that call. Here's the thing, right? He's talking about a fully loaded iPhone iPhone 10 is around $1,200. The only laptop that is even remotely close to $1,200 is sorry, I'm popping my ears because they're plugged up. Is the MacBook 13-inch without a touch bar. And I thought it was really interesting how he said, there's nothing really compelling on the site. And I 100% agree. The touch bar is not a compelling product. Like, if I'm going to drop I think it starts at $23.99 for a MacBook Pro with a touch bar.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm forced to have the touch bar, which is honestly junk. It's a junk feature that is unnecessary, makes things actually harder to do. It takes longer to do things. It's not responsive. There's no physical touch. Some of the features in it are like, I'm never going to use that to edit video. To this day, I've never used it to scrub through video. It's weak. It's weak. And I felt that way right when I saw it, but I was tempered with it. But as I've used it, I'm like, this is the lamest innovation that we've seen from Apple. So you could look outside the box, or if you're not urgently looking for a computer, I'd wait it out and see if maybe they kind of retract back on this whole touch bar thing. The biggest issue with Apple's laptops as well is because of the processor family that they're using right now, it doesn't support the higher capacity DDR RAM. So that's why they're not loaded at 16. That's expected to come sometime in 2018. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's sad when the MacBook Pro used to be literally one of the most attractive pieces of hardware Apple ever had. And I think he represents a lot of fans that are like, there's nothing really that special going on with the MacBook Pros right now. And I would totally agree. Not even from a power user perspective. Who cares if it has a touch bar or not? From a power user perspective, it's not even there with the juice either. So I feel you.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the refurbished models, and they do have some decent models priced at $1,099. So, I mean, if you're going to buy it wouldn't be new, but get a refurbished model.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and it's cheaper. It's tested from the factory, and then they test it again, and when they do the refurbishing.
You also have the same warranty coverage as buying one brand new.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of these with the power, what is it called? The screen, the little, what do you call it again? I'm sorry.
Ultimately, if you want a laptop for a power user, you pretty much have to go to the 15-inch touch bar entry level model.
Yeah, and they have some 12-inch too. I kind of like a smaller laptop.
Yeah, like I like the portability smaller ones, but if you're doing any type of video editing, like automatically I say go get a 15-inch laptop. In the long run, it pays off.
Definitely.
It just does.
Definitely.
It just does. So I would hold on to that money right now, period. I wouldn't even spend it. Man, go buy a Bitcoin with it. Oh, actually, you can't. You can't even afford that. You can't even afford a Bitcoin
like
with
10
that.
G's right now for one Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy. Okay, we got one more call. Here we go.
What's going on, Beach and Song? Tyler from Hot Atlanta coming at you.
Hey.
Hey, guys. asking about the HomePod. I bought our first Google Home Mini, and man, these things are so cheap. They're awesome. I mean, I'm probably going to get from multiple rooms in my house. Well, my question is, do you think that Apple might be gearing up for a Apple HomePod Mini for March to come out with the Apple HomePod itself? Just thought I'd ask. Chat later. Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. You know what? I think that we've talked about it a little bit, and someone had brought up the idea of having a Apple HomePod Mini, and I think it sounds great. But at the same time, why would you want to get that? Because it's going to be the most limited voice assistant. Sure, it'll work in the Apple ecosystem, but you're only going to, at least from what we know at the moment, be able to get access to Apple Music as a native service built into it. And really, of all the three voice assistants, it's the most limited and weakest voice assistant of the three. So because of that, that's just not compelling to me, right? It's not going to be cheaper than the Google Home Mini, and it's not going to be cheaper than the Amazon Echo. I think you're better off getting an Echo. People that want to jump on the smart home platform right now. This holiday season is the best time to join. There were crazy Black Friday deals. Even right now, the newest Amazon Echo version 2.0, normally $99. It's like $79. The Google Home regular station is $79. And then both the Echo Dots and Google Home Minis are $29 a pop each. Like, if there's any time to give this smart home thing a try, and trust me, you won't regret it. It's amazing. Now's the time to do it. And that's also, I made a point earlier that Apple is missing this whole holiday season boat. They're all deeply discounted, and people that are in the know there's no reason to wait for what Apple's doing, because it's not going to be better. If they're really positioning the HomePod as a sound product, a better audio product, that's fine. But I think people are looking for smarter products instead of a speaker that sounds good that has a dumber AI than the other two.
Yeah, true. I agree.
That's more expensive too. So
it's way more expensive.
It's just not nearly as compelling for me as a consumer when you lay all the facts out. Like, it's just not as compelling. So
Chris Wesley in the chat room says, "Lol, you keep turning my Echo on. Lol." Every time you say Alexa. Alexa.
Don't be that guy. Come on. Come on.
Sorry.
I know you like it. You like to just mess with people.
Anyway, that's all she wrote, man. That's it.
That is all she wrote. All right, everybody. We just want to give you a heads up. I believe, if I'm correct, Beach, just a little early news. December 22nd will be our last show for the holiday season. Is that correct?
That's correct. For 2017, December 22nd will be our last show. But we're going to record it. We're recording on the 21st, right?
Sure.
Yeah. 21st. So you can watch it live 21st, and then we will post it for the 22nd.
And then we'll be gone for a month because of travel and vacation and CES. We'll return in a month after that. We'll let you guys know again, but just wanted to throw that out there. Also, remember, be a part of this show. Keep us alive. Call us. I think the calls are kind of some of my favorite parts of the show. So the number is 1-800-616-2638. That's going to do it for this week, y'all.
Booyah.
All right. We're good. Take care. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the week whenever you're listening to this. Be safe. Hug your loved ones tight. We'll see you next week. Peace.